Right, so as I kind of teased in the end or during my my previous video, my haul video, I did say I was probably, if I liked it, I would do a video on Ultimate Black Panther, and I've read the 3 issues that are out at the moment. I know there's an issue either coming out next week or coming out soon. Anyway, number 4 is coming out soon. But I thought before number 4 comes out, I should probably do a little recap, considering I've just read the first 3. Do a little recap, kind of tell you what I think of the series so far, and I don't know if it's grabbed me as completely, and I don't know if it's made me feel the way that Ultimate Spider-Man did, but that's a very different book, and that's kind of grabbed me kind of like in a personal way. This book is Ultimate Black Panther is just a really good, solid comic book that's very new reader friendly. Obviously, it's a new number 1 in a newly established universe. Also, I think if you're a fan of, especially the first Black Panther film, but if you're a fan of Chadwick Boseman's version of T'Challa, I think that's what this book should be. Or not should be. I think that's what this book is, and what it's trying to accomplish is being like this kind of entry point to Black Panther, and I'm really glad to say and to pass on, because I had more excitement for this than I think I did for Ultimate Spider-Man. I think this is the book that I was more interested in, because Spider-Man is going to feel like you kind of know what you're going into with Spider-Man. Black Panther, there's so many different ways that they can go, and it's still the same general theme of like T'Challa is still King of Wakanda. He is still the Black Panther. You've got Killmonger. Killmonger is more of a heroic kind of like rebellious character. Storm is actually like a central figure in this. The best I can describe what they're doing is essentially, I think Brian Hill just watched Dune and Dune 2, and he was like, oh, probably not Dune 2 at this point because it wasn't out by the time that he'd started writing this, but I think he just watched Dune, or just read Dune, and he's like, I want to do that, but with Black Panther. What if this is Black Panther? And I only know the general gist of Dune 1, of the first Dune movie, so I'm just going off of that. You've got this kind of like sage kind of witch woman that is very much like the ones that Paul goes to for counsel in the first Dune movie. Obviously, T'Challa is your Paul Atreides. Storm is Zendaya's character that I forget the name of. And you've got Killmonger, who is kind of, I guess he's kind of like, forget what's his fucking name, Javier Bardem's character, where he's like kind of the leader of these rebels, which are basically is just Storm at the moment, and they're trying to bring in T'Challa, and you've got this kind of war where the allegory for the Harkonnens would be like Khonshu and Ra and the Moon Knights, and then you've got the Black Panther obviously, and his like guard is like the Atreides royal family, and you can get where it's coming from, basically. And I guess being mostly set in a desert helps for the Dune allegory, or the Dune comparisons. Also, that being so fresh in the mind, something like this, which is very much trying to be like a sci-fi epic, is definitely like, you can see the similarities, even if that wasn't like the straight up what if that wasn't straight up what Brian Hill was trying to do. It's a great book though. It's such a good, just a really good, like, just sci-fi story with Black Panther, and it's something that the character hasn't really done. It's something that we haven't really seen from the main 616 Black Panther. I mean, he's gone to space, he's been sci-fi in that way, but in more of a Star Wars way than a like Dune way. This is still like centered in Wakanda on Earth, but it's got those kind of like themes, and it feels science fiction, which I guess is what superhero comics are, but this more so. This is like a big epic kind of thing. I just think it's good. I just think it's really good. There's not much more I can say. I don't know if I'm 100% on the suit. It's kind of like, it's very similar to the movie suit. It's basically the movie suit, but with the mouthpiece cut out. I like the gist of it. I like everything apart from the mouthpiece cut out. But I think if you don't cut that out, it looks very similar to... It looks like the movie suit. It looks... it'll probably look too similar to... the main 616. Probably not now. Probably not at the moment, because the 616 suit does look so drastically different at the moment than it has ever done in the past. He's got a shield for some reason. But yeah, I think it looks cool. And yeah, there hasn't been a massive amount of action yet, but we're definitely heading to that point. We're definitely like leading towards a big kind of like confrontation or showdown. I don't know necessarily a conclusion, but we're leading towards a fight of some kind. But yeah, I think everything, even to the ships, they do look like the ornithopters from Dune. Sorry if I'm getting the names wrong. I'm not a huge Dune fan, but I did see the similarities, and I did get a lot of like, oh, this is just Dune with Black Panther, and I'm here for it, because I don't like Dune with Timothée Chalamet, but I like this. I think this is good, and it's, despite me saying that it's like a sci-fi epic and all that, it's not that tough of a read. It goes by very quickly, which is kind of my problem with Brian Hill as a whole. His Blade has gone by really quickly, and this seems more packed, maybe just because it's like it's setting up a new status quo, a new universe, and introducing you to this world of what Wakanda like in the context of the Ultimate Universe, and what does it kind of mean, how is it going to affect the rest of the Ultimate Universe? And thankfully, not much. Thankfully, it's very insular, as you would probably expect with Black Panther anyway. But it's very insular. Like, there isn't even a bit in it, like, with Ultimate Spider-Man where like Tony Stark shows up or one of the Ultimates shows up. There's no bit like that, and you would think there would be some kind of like there will probably be a bit in Ultimates when the Ultimates finally meet Black Panther. This version of the Ultimates finally meet Black Panther, where Black Panther will probably react to Captain America in a way and be like, my dad fought you during World War II or something like that. My dad knows who you are, or my granddad knew who you were, or a previous Black Panther and Captain America will probably recognise the suit and be like, I've had run-ins with a previous version of this, because they always do that. That's always a fun like thing with T'Challa and Cap. They always have this kind of like little bit of a rivalry, which is why I'm excited for that Captain America Black Panther video game as well, which is just called like a year, like 1935, Rise of Hydra, I think it's called. I'm excited for that because seeing their dynamic, even though that's not going to be T'Challa in that's going to be someone else, but even seeing just a dynamic with a Black Panther and Captain America is just fun to see all the time, pretty much. So yeah, I have a feeling we're headed towards that. Maybe not soon, but at some point we're going to see Captain America and Black Panther kind of butt heads in this universe. And I'm excited for that. I'm excited to see that. And especially how these two versions of those characters kind of react to each other. We don't even know what Captain America's going to be like in this universe. Hopefully he's not racist, like in the original Ultimates. That was kind of a bad idea. But anyway, so far, issues 1 through 3 have been very good. I highly recommend Ultimate Black Panther. If you've been wanting to jump into Black Panther, but the main book has been too kind of daunting for you, this is a perfect jumping on point, because it's a brand new universe. It's a brand new thing that has no previous continuity. The only thing you would probably need to read is Ultimate Invasion, but I didn't, and I get it fine. I'd also pick up Ultimate Spider-Man as well, because that's a perfect comic book, and I think that there's going to be crossover at some point anyway. And I mean, if you're reading two excellent books and two excellent books end up crossing over, then yeah. But I'm glad that everything seems separate at the moment, and everything, and there's no kind of like reference to Spider-Man in Ultimate Black Panther. There's no reference to Black Panther in Ultimate Spider-Man. There is reference to Tony Stark, but it's very minimal, and it's like at the end of the book. It is. I'm not going to talk about Ultimates. I've already talked about Ultimate Spider-Man. I've already talked about my one gripe with that book, and there is only one very small gripe with that book. With this, it's maybe not enough Black Panther, and they have started setting up a lot very early. Like, we've got Killmonger, we've got Storm, we've got Black Panther, we've got the royal family and their kind of things. We've got this kind of rivalry between Okoye and Shuri, and we've also got the Moon Knights and what's going on with them, which is your kind of like tie into the wider Ultimate Universe as a whole, but I don't. But I just think it's a great book. I think that is a very small gripe, because overall it is spinning those plates really well. And it's only issue 3. I can't complain too much, it's only issue 3. By the end of the arc, there might be bajillions of story plot threads and everything, and that's kind of just how sci-fi stuff works anyway. There is a lot going on all of the time. But yeah, if you have picked up Ultimate Black Panther, which, if you're watching this, you probably have, because this was sold out for a very long time, and I was only able to pick up the number 1 yesterday or a few days ago. The day before I did the whole video. I was only able to pick up these a couple of days ago, so yeah, it was really difficult to get a hold of Ultimate Black Panther number 1. It was sold out everywhere. So yeah, you've probably read this by now, and if you haven't read 2 and 3, you've probably read number 1, or own it, at least in some variety, because just it was so difficult to get a hold of. I imagine just everyone bought it as soon as possible. Although my comic shop did say they only ordered in like 4 issues of number 1, because they weren't expecting that much of an interest in it, because Ultimate Black Panther does seem quite niche, but I'm glad that it's got a pretty big fanfare and a pretty big reception. A lot of people already are saying this Ultimate Universe could be much better than the old one, which I'm likely to agree with, because the previous Ultimate Universe only had Ultimate Spider-Man. That was kind of the cream that rose to the top. With this, every book so far has been pretty even keel. Spider-Man's just here, but Black Panther's here, and X-Men is like somewhere. I'm not reading it, but I've heard that it's been interesting. I've heard that it's been good anyway. And hopefully Ultimates is somewhere in this range as well. But yeah, I highly recommend Ultimate Black Panther. You should definitely read it if you haven't already. Yeah, good book. I'll see you guys in the next video. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. Base.